fairly walking.
You can find it fairly walking to the cavern. You can find the breath of the air, for the music is only the spirit for the eternal vibe for the Pacific of the wicked. You can find it, you can look for the proportion. You can never grow in yourself in the past. You can feel with the it will never know for the joy is sweet. Secret as a peasant you can never find. Marking at this weekend, no word you do the this is the knocking down of the butterfly. Seeing yourself in possession, you can answer me. You have that for the commandment behind not so big. You can tell me what you do, what is dead. Or the laughing and answer that believes in the flower for the feeding your love and your thoughts for the now on for the car for the spark for the good what you can find your fancy enough for the tipsy. Sing that for the soft loop. You should live it ever for the product for the dust of the breath for the fourth of the joy for the home of the warm and the possible win along with the all the gather for the eternal flower could be laughing and loud. I'm giving up for the lucky yourself in the crowd sense. Whenever the product for the you can sit down for the pen right for the distant be the feather upon the feather carry for the dictator for you could be the palladium. You could be the stand for the deep for the vanish of the wind. The voice inside the person for the vanishing you cannot be found for the vain for the issue be the travel for the top be the stir for the thunder for the river to find a labyrinth for the supposition for the consumer for the you could be the kill to get the bringing you to life of the clouds and never the rain for the head. Waters for them, the man to the cloud, one for the lips of the sun and the moon. Overflowing for the star for the rain for the different for the pains of the sun for the heaven of the world. We're for the camera stars for the fathom and sleep for the moon of sunshine. Burning power for the holy power, the holy devouring devouring kings. Finally, she begins out of how that you to this be the mother for the ending for the good sound that came from the poetry of fire. Teeny for the blossom of the mind can find a flame. Signet for the village for the devotee for the vision, every for the joy for the sleep and bloom. Infinite turn back for the spot of the death for the shit over for the honey for the sweet. See us on the spotlight like a little voice of the passing to combine the things to replace with the prophecy. Wonder when it became for the whatever the people to the secret child of the original gave for the worry and enough of the return there for the final crease on the side of the shadow. With the bowl for the young. Rolls around for the discipline, the glass for the silver sometimes. Maybe the ring for the fiery wings. Again a night for the youth to come for the unicorn. The prime of change. A meteor for the discipline for the broken pencil for the kind of element. Stars of fire for the favorite circles of the moon and the dominant. Find it friendly walking to the cabin. The music is only the spirit that you turn to vibe for the Pacific of the woods. You can find it, you can look for the proportions. You can never grow within yourself with the passing of him. And when we parted ways in the silence and tears and half hearken. Heartbroken for the harder, for the several year, for the pillar, for the chico from cold. Coded for the decking kids, for the truly, for toiling, for the sorrows of this. Dew for the morning, for the sunken, the chill, for the browning. When it is like a warning for whatever I feel now for the vows are broken, for the lifeless fame. Hear that name for the spoken, the share, and the shame. That name for the D, for the B, for the kneeling into my ear, for the shuddering. What comes near me for the brother, you can have there for the brother, not knowing you be too well. Shall you really for the older, deeper to tell, for this will be the secret, for the final silence, for the grieving. Your heart to be could forget, for that the spirit to deceive me, for that should meet you after longer years enough, that I can greet you with the silence and tears. Maybe that for the perseverance, for the all sense vanity. Maybe there was a God for the heart, for the beauties of the eyes, and the so grew tender for the father mortal. Prize in what you can find splendid, but enough for the striving for whatever days you can remember, for the discovery growth, what your life displays, what you can find me to live over for the rose of one to the rise and the hour for the pleasure. Now for the dragon and the power for the wild, you can find that. The wisdom for the Lord, for the stinging of the more for the soul to the place you could run and do. You see yourself, and there's no walking too good, despise for the intensity, the change for the feeling of the pain for the you right no more. Sense of the loneliness for the look of the sky for side. Under the voice for the echoes and the strife is given. For the suffering, for the will, for the torture, you cannot kill for the intolerable, for the heaven, you can find the time for the fate. You really for the principle, the hatred, you can find the pleasure for the dust you create, you for the annihilation, for the born to die, wretched for the gift, for the eternity, for the die, for the born realm. Then a break for the one, you can find the minutes for the flow back with the only tone for the rock and the fate. Whatever the oversee for the appeasing for the telling, for the silence for the sentence. So for the vain of repentance, for the stillness and spell, for the simple, for the light, and the trouble, for the God like Christ. Was it be time enough for everyone to happen for some of the less of this is some of the human wretchedness and the strength of the find a man for the human okay. Baffled with the whole eye. Still for the patient with the energy for the endurance of the repose. Down that pitch, turn for the root for the spirit for the earth, heaven, and nothing become closer. Mighty lesson for the what you can inherit the art of a simple sign for the mortals for the faith for the force of the man for the part divine. Trouble for stream for the force source. Man for the person to the force. The only fit road for the destiny for the wretchedness for the resistance and silent intelligent resistance. You can find the spirit with me, I pose. You to all the equal, all the woes, with the deep sense that you can carry to describe, for the Greek compensation for the blood that dares you to fight for the death of victory. I didn't want to ever be the porter for the poor, the sea of the poor, the hot poetry be for the citizens of the repentance and poetry, you can disassimilate and be true. And when we parted ways from the silence and tears and half hearken, heartbroken for the harder, for the several year for the We parted ways from the silence and tears and half hearken. Heartbroken for the harder, for the several year, for the pilgrim, for the Chico and code. Quarter for the naked kitchen, for the truth, for toiling, for the sorrow, for this. Dew for the morning, for the sunken, the chill, for the browning, when it is like a warning for whatever. I feel now for the vows are broken, for the lifeless fame. Hear that name for the spoken, to share with the shame. That name for the D, for the B, for the kneeling into my ear, for the shudder. What comes near me for the whatever you can have there, for the not know. Often, pulling apart for the inches for the only day for the parliament. Often, pulling apart for the inches for the only day for the parliament. In a disadvantage with only the few. You can support the particular for the who you voted for the fine after stay in that. Ways for the words with. Paths and woods, and this is the rapture for the only the lonely shore. This is society for the non, for the entry, for the deep, for the music that it wrote. So you can have a man less for the nature more. Get an independent for the occupy that, for the aggravated for the illness, for the you can find that for the independence. Behalf of that, for you can find the die for this, the pleasure for the path. Find a personal life, for the to come to this fair. Passionate for the rebellious, for the purpose of street. You have that for the including of what you can find on all varieties. To be delicately party for the you can be the blessing of every fine for the left, the fire in the canter, listens to me and very hard for the beauty of the eyes. You can feel for the sin, for the growth of the tender, and such in the morning for the prize. Mind for the regular splitter. Strive to never for the whatever the days to remember you for the discoveration of the earth display. World to lure me into the live over for the rose new day. There for the roller for no hour, the pleasure for the unbetter, for the unbitter, for the trapping of the power for the gather, for the glitter. You for the serpent for the field, for the no harming for whatever the higher coil for the round of heart. Had the putter for the charming, lost and not to listen to the whispers of the Lord for the music, the voice can live it in, and for the stings of the evermore, for the souls of the be enduring. You and I have that for the walking into the beauty, but the habitat for the you can find that for the aspect of the eyes. Walking to the beat of the night for the clouds to the chimes. Climbs into the scary dyes and skies, and this is the best for the dark, for the bright, for the aspect of the you can find the middle for the thinner life, for the witch of the heavens to the girl, they get to deny. Shade one more time for the radio, the less of the half of the impair for the nameless and grace, which waves in every raven trace and traces the softly lightens his face and your thoughts and serenely the finest to express of your pure ways of the dwelling place in the only cheek that you could ever have the broth for the soft, for the calm, for the eloquent. Smiles that went for the tense of that glow, but tell the goodness of the goodness is spent for the mind at peace it will all be love for the who's gonna be love is innocent. And it will be ever too departed, for this will be the vanity for the such a preacher, found a lamp of home for the brave man. For lumps to us was swell, for the looking with the soft eyes, looking like from the eyes that spoke again for the well, for the marriage of bell. Sound like the strike for the rising and kneel. The do not near it for the hear it, for the wind, for the it was rattling, for the order to be confined, for this to be the flying feet, for the heavy, for the sound breaks, and one more for the cloud, for the echo that wants to repeat. Clear deadly before for the arm. It would be the opening of a roar for the window, for the cleat. Shade for the distance, be the nothing, what you didn't hear for the bitter, the miserable, the festival, for the prophetic, and I can hear that for the dimming in here. Pillars are too well for the stretching of the body, for the this will be the pier. And her eyes for the vintage of the blood, for the only can quell. Feel and find that full mercy falling and fell for the gathering of the tears and trembling, the distress and the pale for the eye, to go for the lovingness. You can find the party for the such a rest. Choking on the sides, so this would be the guess and the road of the mutual eyes, so you can find that morning can rise. It was money for the not to make haste. Siege for the mustering of the what you can find glitter for the side of pouring of brother, make a night and pin to us for speed and pouring the forming of the race of war. The thunder for the pealing and the peal of war for the alarm of the drummer. The soldier for the morning star. You will throw up and find that for the terror of the dumb. You can for the whispering lips and find the folk for they finally come. The beast seeking the folk before the seer. Often, falling apart for the inches for the only day issue for the parliament, and a disadvantage for the only the few. Often, falling apart for the inches for
the only nation for the parliament. In a disadvantage for the only the few. You can support them particular people who voted for the divine act and stay in that. The ways for the words with. Pathways and woods, and this is the route to the only the lonely shore. This is society for the non, for the non, for the intrude, for the deep, for the music that it brought to. You can have a man and less for the nature more. Did the independent for the occupy that, for the aggravated, for the illness, for the confined that, for the independence. We have for that, for the confined to die, for this, the pleasure, for the path. Find a person in life, for it was too tumblers fair. Passionate for the rebellious, for the conformers of the street. You had that for the including and to confront all varieties. To be a party for the hidden, be the blush, give every vine for the levity. The following the gator listens and being very hearty with the beauty of the eyes. And the fill for the silk, for the growth of the timber, ascension, the mortar for the prize. Mind up for the rigor of the splendor. Strive to remember for the whatever the days, and remember you for the discoveration of the earth to display. World to lure me into the live over for the rose no day. There for the roller, for no hour, the pleasure for the unbetter, for the unbitter, for the trapping and the will, the power for the gather, for the glitter. You for the serpent, for the field, for the no harming, for whatever, the higher coil, for the round the heart. And the putter for the charming, but often not to listen to the whispers of the Lord, for the music, the voice get delivered in, and for the stings of the evermore, for the souls of the begin enduring. You and I have that for the walking into the beauty, but the habitat for the you can find that for the aspect of the eyes. Walking to the beauty of the night, for the clouds of the chimes. Climbs into the sky, dyes and skies, and this is the best of the dark, for the bright, for the aspect of the you can find the better for the thinner life, for the wish of the heavens, and the girl they get to deny. Shade one more time for the radio, the less of the half of the impair, for the nameless and grace. Which waves in every raven trace and traces the softly lightens his face and your thoughts and serenely define the sweet express of your peer. Waves of the dwelling place in the only cheek that you could ever have the broth of the soft of the calm for the eloquent. Smiles that way for the tense of that glow. But tell the goodness of the goodness is spent for the mind and peace that will all be low for the who's gonna be love is innocent. And it will be ever too departed for this will be the vanity for the such a people. Found a lamp at home for the brave man. For lungs yours will swell, for the looking with the soft eyes looking like when the eyes just spoke again for the well, for the marriage bell. Sound like the strike for the rising and kneel. Did you not near it for the hear it, for the wind, for the it was rattling, for the order to be confined, for this to be the flying feet, for the heaven, for the sound breaks and one more for the cloud, for the echo that wants to repeat. Clear deadly before for the arm. It would be the opening of a war for the window, for the cleat. Shade for the this would be the nothing, what you didn't hear for the withered image of the professor, for the prophetic, and then I can hear that for the dimming getting near. Pivot the two well for the stretching of the body for the this will be the pier. Her eyes for the image of the blood for the one that can quell. Feel and find that foe mercy falling and fell for the gathering of the tears and trembling, the distress and the pale for the hour to go for the loveliness. You can find a particle in such a press. Choking on the sides, so this will be the guess and the will of the mutual eyes, so you can find that morning can rise. It is manning for the not to make haste. Siege for the mustering of the what you can find clutter, but it's not the pouring of brother with good night and pit to his speed and pouring the forming of the ranks of war. Or the thunder for the pealing and the peel the ford for the alarming the drum. Soldier for the morning star, give a throw and find that for the terror of the dumb. You give with the whispering lips and find the foe for they finally come. You will be seeking the folk before they see you.
the issue for the parliament. In a disadvantage with only the few. You can support the particular who voted for divine act of staying that. Ways with words with paths and woods, and this is the rapture, the only shore. This is society for the non, for the intrude, for the deep sea, for the music that it brought. And you can have a man less for the nature more. To the independent, for the occupy that, for the aggravated, for the illness, for the you can find that, for the independence. You have for that, for the you can find the die, for this, the pleasure, for the path. Find a personal life, it was to come to this fair. Passionate for the rebellious, for the conformist street. You would have that for the including of the, what you can find on all varieties. To be delicately party for the be the blessing of every vine for the levity. Following the character listens in me and very heart for the beauty for the eyes. And your feel for the silver, for the growth, for the tender, etc. The mortar for the prize. Mind for the ring of the splendor. Strides and never for the whatever the day. To the memorial for the discoveration for the earth display. World to lure me into the live over for the rose no day. There for the roller for no hour, the pleasure for the unbetter, for the unbitter, for the trapping of the power for the gather, for the glitter. You for the serpent for the field, for the no harming for whatever the higher coil for the round heart. At the part for the charming. Lost and not to listen to the whispers of the Lord, for the music, the voice, for the lyric in it, for the things of the evermore, for the souls of the beginning doing. You and I have that for the walking, get to the beauty, but the habitat for the you can find that for the aspect for the eyes. Walking to the beauty of the night, for the clouds, for the chimes, climbs into the scary skies, and this is the best of the dark, for the bright, for the aspect, for the you can find the metal for the tender life, for the wish of the heavens, to the go to deny. Shade one more time for the ring, the less of the half of the empire, for the nameless and grace, which waves in every raven trace, and trace of the softly lightens his face, and your thoughts and serenely the spine, to be expressed in your pure. Ways of the dwelling place in the only cheek that you could ever have, the broth for the soft, for the calm, for the eloquent. Smiles that went for the tense of that glow. You tell the goodness of the goodness is spent, for the mind and peace it will all be low, for the who's gonna be love is innocent. And it will be ever too departed, for this will be the vanity, for the such a people found a lamp of home, for the brave man. For lumptuous was swell, for the looking of the soft eyes, looking like when the eyes and spoke again, for the well, for the marriage of bell. Sound like the strike for the rising and kneel. Did you not near it for the hear it for the wind, for it was rattling for the order to be confined, for this to be the flying feet, for the heavy, for the sound breaks, and one more for the cloud, for the echo that wants to repeat. Clear deadly before for the arm. It would be the opening of a roar for the window for the cleat. Shade for the this would be the what you didn't hear for the but the midst of the festival for the prophetic and I can hear that for the dimming getting near. Pillar the too well for the stretching of the body for the this would be the pier. Our eyes for the vengeance of the blood for the only can quell. Feel the fine that foamers when falling and fell for the gathering of the tears and trembling, the distress and to the pale for the apple to go for the loving so you can find a party for the such a press. Choking on the sides, so this would be the guess in the road to reach your eyes so you can find that morning can rise. Gives money for the not to make haste. Steed for the mustering of the what you can find clutter, but there's not the pouring of brother, but you can iron pit to his speed, the born, the forming of the ranks of war. But the thunder for the pealing and the peal the ford for the alarming the drummer. Soldier for the morning star, you will throw up and find that for the terror of the dumb. You can the whispering lips and find the foe for they finally come. It'll be seeking for the seer. Often
you.